In the last video, we saw Sejun wondering about the germination rate of his crops, which was about 70% for everything. He is a little concerned by that, but he thinks he will get better with time. Then we saw how skilled the black warrior rabbit had become in hunting the piranhas using his hammer, and he also leveled up after hunting 5 fish in just one jump over the pond. To celebrate this, Sejun decided to drink some coffee he found inside the tumbler he got from Theo. Neither Theo nor Scarum, the goblin who scammed him, had cared to look inside the tumbler, and thus Sejun got the most valuable thing in the deal for free. Sejun makes his special drink by combining the coffee from the packets with the cold water of the pond and the honey from the poison honeybee. He likes the drink, but it is too bitter for his rabbit friends. But later, it turns out that the father rabbit could drink the bitter coffee without a problem. Then the poison honeybee makes a hive inside the cave and finally moves in with Sejun and his family. They are all happy, and Sejun decides to throw a party. Then he gets a quest from the tower manager. Now, the demands are quite mild, and the only penalty for refusal is disappointment. Nick is pleased by this and gets embarrassed when he learns that he just acted like a pushover. Somewhere else in the tower, the goblin merchant Scarum is boasting to his friends about how he tricked Theo into buying trash, and now he plans to give him a genuine tip and a loan to make money. But according to him, Theo would never be able to repay the loan and be his lifelong servant. Then Scarum and his friends check the running list of the wandering merchants based on their sales today. Scarum is happy to enter the top 1,000, but his happiness turns into anger as he finds that Theo is above him in the list. He is shocked and curious about how Theo managed to make good money so suddenly. Meanwhile, Theo has returned to the cave after spending 4 days getting sidetracked and having fun. As he tells this to Sejun, he gets angry and demotes Theo to an employee from the position of a sales cat. But he is also surprised that Theo could manage to sell out everything in just 1 day. Theo hands over the money and Sejun gives him an incentive. Then he laughs, saying that soon everyone will know his name as the producer of the cherry tomatoes. But Theo panics as he hears this from Sejun's mouth. There was a system in the tower that hid the names of the suppliers of the items sold by the wandering merchants. It was done to protect their source of income, and the only way to undo this was to earn 1,000 tower coins and become a mid-level merchant. And afraid that Sejun would demote him even further upon learning this, Theo decides to get to work immediately without telling Sejun the truth. This chapter starts with a scene from a large building on Earth. A group of people are gathered there, and they are talking about something. And on closer inspection, it turns out that they are the adventurers of the tower. They were from the Phoenix Guild, the same group that Theo sold the magical cherry tomatoes to. One man is trying to convince his friends that he is speaking the truth, and the others do not believe him and say that what he is telling them is impossible. But as they continue their conversation, their leader's phone rings. He is the leader of the Phoenix Guild, Kim Dongshik. He checks his smartphone and finds that he has a message from his daughter. She tells him that the effect of the cherry tomatoes he brought for her was great. All her friends were jealous of it, and now she wanted more. The girl asks her father that won't he buy more of them for his lovely daughter, and Dongshik is moved to tears. The man next to him asks what was wrong, and as Dongshik sips his coffee, he tells him about his daughter. She was usually annoyed by everything because she was struggling with her diet. But today she was happy and said that she loved her dad. Dongshik then adds that he only bought 20 pieces of the cherry tomatoes the last time and left the rest for the other team members. He did not know back then that his daughter would like them so much. If he had known that, he would have bought all of them. Another man asks him if he was talking about the cherry tomatoes sold to them by the wandering cat. He wonders why the girls are so obsessed with it. But another man gives his testimony about the power of cherry tomatoes. He was having a fling with a girl, and he gifted her the cherry tomatoes. Now, they were dating. The other people can barely believe him, and they are quite shocked. One of them says that he also bought the cherry tomatoes and still had some of them left. And 2 others enter a bidding war for the miracle fruits. They both want him to sell the fruits to them, and one of them offers to buy each fruit for 100,000 won. But Dongshik stops them and says that they cannot progress like this. And then he orders his men to summon the rest of his team. They are going to the 38th floor right now. Dongshik is serious, but his underlings are confused. They think that it has not been long since their last expedition, and it was not easy to go on one again. A lot of people would complain about this decision, but that is what the boys think. And as they are saying this, the girls also come into the room, and they say that they are ready to go. The boys look around and find that Jessica and other girls are raring to go. They were wearing clothes to show off their slim waists and striking poses to highlight their weight loss. One girl says that they had already prepared the tower coins to buy the cherry tomatoes, but she stops herself before she can complete the sentence and says that she means they had collected coins for the expedition. Jessica also makes the same fumble when she says that they were ready for cherry tomatoes. She then corrects herself and says that they are ready to defeat the spider monsters. That is all Dongshik needs to hear, and he issues a command to his team to follow his lead. The boys are excited to go on the expedition, and the girls are super excited for the cherry tomatoes. And as Dongshik leads his group, he thinks that he will get those magical cherry tomatoes and become a great dad, no matter what it takes. Next, we see the scene inside the tower. Theo is roaming the middle levels of the tower as he sighs about his goal. He wonders when his sales amount will reach 1,000 tower coins. He looks quite dejected and tired. Theo says that the maximum amount of cherry tomatoes that he could store in his bundle was 15,000, and even if he sells out completely, he would have to go back and forth more than 10 times to reach his goal. Theo decides to forget the complex things for now. At this time, his focus is to make as much money as possible, and right now, he is on the 38th floor, at the same spot where he met the human party the last time. Theo wonders if this was the place where the humans were gathered last time. He looks around for them, but it is the humans who find him first. They locate him and excitedly tell their comrades that they have found the wandering merchant cat. Theo is surprised and asks the man in front of him if they are looking for him. The man replies that that is true as he opens up his pouch. He says that since they had no idea when he would appear at this place again, they had been waiting for him on this floor for the past 3 days. And with that, the man asks Theo if he has the magic cherry tomatoes again this time. Theo is shocked as he hears the man's words. They had waited 3 days in the dangerous area just to buy the cherry tomatoes. The man asks Theo if the price of the cherry tomatoes was 0.05 tower coins per piece. But Theo acts smug as he tells the human to stop there. He had found the perfect chance to gain more money, and he was not going to let it slip. Theo says that the price of the tomatoes had already gone up. The man is shocked as he hears about the hike in price, and the commotion attracts Dongshik's attention. He comes forward and asks if anything is happening here. The man tells Dongshik that the price of the magical cherry tomatoes has gone up. Dongshik gets to business and asks about the new price, and Theo says that it's 0.07 tower coins now. But contrary to his cool and confident act, he is nervous inside. He wonders if he raised the price too much, but it turns out that his price was not a big deal when compared to the value of his product. Dongshik says that if that were the case, he would like to buy 200 fruits. He drops a pouch of tower coins in front of Theo, who is shocked. Even the other team members think that the price was justified. They say that it would be weird if such a great item was sold at a low price, and they think that if they fail to buy the cherry tomatoes this time, there is no telling when they will next come to market. With that, the people start demanding the amount of fruit they require. After a while, Theo is yet again sold out. He is glad, but he is also surprised that it was too easy. His basket is empty, and in front of him are pouches full of tower coins. Some are even on the floor. Even though he had raised the price, all 15 cherry tomatoes were sold out in a flash. As Theo is busy contemplating his situation, Dongshik asks him when he will appear again. Theo asks him if he would wait for him in this place again, and if that were the case, he would be back in about 10 days. Dongshik is pleasantly surprised to hear that answer. He says that 10 days is a perfectly reasonable time to regroup after completing a quest, and he tells Theo that they will be back to buy more cherry tomatoes after 10 days. With that, Dongshik commands his team to get ready. He tells them that they will now finish the spider quest and be on their way out of the tower, and his team members are also ready for the action. Theo laughs inside as he realizes that he has now found regular customers. At this rate, gathering 1,000 tower coins was not so far away. He thinks that he needs to quickly become a mid-level merchant by acquiring 1,000 tower coins. Then he can uncover the name of Sejun as his vendor and get back his title as the sales cat. But as he is about to leave, someone interrupts him. A group of girls is excited to talk to Theo, and they call him Mr. Cat. Theo is curious about what they want, and the girls start talking among themselves. One of them says that they look really similar, and the other one also agrees with this. But Theo interrupts them and says that his name is not Mr. Cat, it is Theo. The girl in front apologizes and introduces herself as Suha. Then Theo asks her what she meant by look-alike, and Suha replies that Theo looks like a cat she knows. He tells her that she must be mistaken. He says that he is the only handsome cat in the world. With that, Theo turns around and says that he was busy, so he will get going. But as Suha frantically searches for something in her purse, She asks Theo to wait a minute. She takes out a long red packet from her purse, and Theo looks at it, wondering what it was. The girl asks him if he would like to eat churu, which is one of the famous Korean cat snacks. Even as Theo opens his mouth to take a bite, he asks the girl what a churu is. He says that he does not eat anything except grilled fish, but he stops before completing his sentence as he takes a bite. He is overwhelmed by the deliciousness of the snack. He takes it in his hands and cannot stop licking it as he praises it. He asks what this flavor he was eating is. Even though it smelled like fish, it had a nutty flavor and it melted in his mouth. Theo immediately finishes the packet and then asks Suha if she has more. She is holding more packets in her hand, and she tells Theo that she had different flavors with her. He excitedly asks her to give him more, but Suha laughs and says that she will give it to him if he takes a photo with her. Theo immediately agrees to her request, not even knowing what a photograph is. In return, he wants all the churu packets. The girl takes out her smartphone and tells Theo to just look at the screen and say peace. He strikes a pose alongside the girl, and the photo is clicked. Theo leaves happily while licking the churu packets, and Suha waves goodbye to him. Her friends are surprised, and they say that it was the first time they saw someone bring cat snacks inside the tower. But she asks Suha if she found Theo cuter than what everyone said. The other girl also says that it was nice to see Suha smile like that. She asks her if she would come here to see Theo the next time too. Suha smiles as she looks at the picture she clicked with Theo, and she says that she will surely come again. Now, we are shown the scene of Sejun's cave. The Black Warrior Rabbit is in the water, and Sejun is encouraging him. He was giving the Black Rabbit special swimming training right now. Sejun asks the readers if they are afraid that it would be dangerous because of the piranhas. But it seems like that is not the case. Other rabbits are also watching the Black Rabbit from the sidelines. Sejun tells him to relax his body and stretch the floating tube made with green onion leaves forward. The rabbit follows his instructions, and Sejun says that he is doing a nice job. He then tells us that, for safety reasons, he had temporarily blocked the holes from which the piranhas came. He was in the water too, and even though he had checked the effectiveness of his block a few times, he was still nervous. The Black Rabbit has gotten good enough, and now Sejun wants him to practice swimming without his floating tube. Sejun then says that this was a great development compared to the time when the Black Rabbit almost died by jumping in the water as he was too happy after leveling up. Sejun says that he was astonished because he thought the rabbit was going to be eaten by piranhas. Sejun remembers the scene vividly. The Black Rabbit was floating on his belly inside the pond, and Sejun suddenly went into panic mode as he realized that the rabbit was unconscious. The mother rabbit was so scared for her child that she fainted. But luckily, the piranhas did not attack him. Right now, Sejun says that just thinking about that incident makes his heart skip a beat, and the Black Rabbit nervously laughs. He is out of that water now, and his siblings are taking turns trying to learn the skill of swimming. Sejun is also tired after playing in the water, and he says that he wants to eat something sweet now. He reaches into his bag to find his stash of honey, but it turns out that his bottle is empty. Sejun has already eaten all the honey he collected last time. Thinking about the honey, Sejun is reminded of the poison honeybee, who has not come out of her hive since she set it up inside the cave a few days ago. And Sejun wonders if something happened. But then he sees something that shocks him in the Black Warrior Rabbit. There are numerous small poison honeybees around the hive, and Sejun can read their information window, stating that they were the babies of the poison honeybee. Sejun is surprised. It has been so long since he last checked on the honeybee, and now there were so many children around the nest. Sejun wonders if they were all kids of the honeybee he knew. He had not even noticed them before today. Sejun thinks for a while and decides that since she has not seen the bee for a while, and because she has kids now, he needs to congratulate her. And as Sejun looks at his tomato fields, he says that he cannot visit her without a gift. And then he takes the only gift he can afford in this place, tomato flowers. But the baby poison bees are curious when they see Sejun approach their nest. Sejun calls out the honey bee and asks her if she could come out for a moment. He is holding a bouquet of tomato flowers in his hand, and 2 rabbits are with him. Sejun says that he has a gift for her housewarming, but then he suddenly notices that the baby bees are looking aggressive. Their eyes are glowing red, and they are angrily flying towards Sejun. The farmer rabbits run away when they see the bees approaching them. Sejun is shocked, and the Black Rabbit summons his hammer to fight against them. Sejun asks the bees what they are about to do. He tells them not to do whatever they were planning to do because they are not enemies. And as he says that, someone inside the hive is listening to him. The baby bees look menacing and threatening, and the Black Warrior Rabbit is ready to fight them. Sejun tells him not to fight the bees, but he knows that there might be no other way to save their lives. The bees are angry and they charge at Sejun. He closes his eyes in anticipation of their stings, but then the baby bees stop suddenly. Sejun opens his eyes and sees someone he does not recognize. A large bee-like creature with a crown on her head was flying towards him. Sejun is shocked as he asks her if she was perhaps the poison honeybee he knew. The creature that looks like an anthropomorphized honeybee is surrounded by the baby bees that are indeed her children. And as she gladly replies to Sejun's question in her language, Sejun can read her information window. She was a poisonous queen honeybee. Sejun can only stare at her with his mouth wide open, and the reaction of the black warrior rabbit is also the same. Sejun wonders if she was really the honeybee he knew. With this chapter ends.